Hello everyone, how's it going? And welcome back to another video here on the PokerStaples channel. Thanks so much for joining me. I have something really exciting I want to talk about. This is a different video than we normally do. This summer coming up, we have the WPT World Online Championships happening on Party Poker. It's a really special series. And there's been so many poker series that have happened over the last 6 months that it's just like, oh, okay, another poker series. But looking at the schedule now and seeing how it's constructed, I'm really excited about this. I sent out a tweet the other day that, and I don't tweet this lightly, but I think this might be the best designed online tournament series ever, especially in the current climate. And you guys know I've been a huge fan of Scoop over my history of playing poker. I loved that series. But given the situation we're in the world with COVID going on, with people being in lockdown, it's been like a very intense last 5 minutes of grinding. I think the WPT and Party Poker have put together like a perfect schedule. So I want to take you through what is coming up on that schedule, how it's constructed, all the events that you can play, and the events I'm going to play. And my plans for the summer, what I'm going to stream, what I'm going to try and satellite into, how the satellites work, all of that. So let's check out this WPT schedule. Going over to the client now, this is the normal Party Poker client. And you can click this WPT tab here. And this will take you to a special lobby for the WPT. Let's start off by talking about events, right? So you click the events tab, you can see all the events here, and we have all the buy-ins. Now it looks like there's a lot here, right? It's just like, holy smokes. But as you can see, WPT event number 1. So all of these are actually the first event. So the first event is going to be July 18th. And what they've done is they've created 3 different tiers, right? There's a $3,200, which is like the championship tier. There's a $320 tier, and then a $33 tier. So that's, I think, one of the most important things about running a good series is it needs to be inclusive. Like, I remember being so frustrated when I was a new poker player of like, man, I can't even play this series. It sounds amazing, but like, I can't afford to get to play it. Well, providing a $33 tier, even in a prestigious series like with the WPT, is exactly what's needed. So boom, perfect. Thank you for that. We've got 3 tiers so that pretty much everyone can get in on $33 buy-ins. Now, the second thing is really great. There's a day 1A and a day 1B. So that's it. Day 1A, day 1B. That's it for the first event, right? There's not like a million flights, which is great. And then there's a day 2 and a day 3 as well. So obviously these are very deep events. If we go in here, let's open up this 3,200 lobby, right? And we look at the structure. Start with 100,000 chips, and the blinds are 2,500. So you start with 200 big blinds, and it's 25-minute levels, right? So that's a very slow and progressive structure. And then if we go to day 2 here after day 1B, and we take a look, the structure is 30 minutes. So it's even slower on day 2. And then the final table, I think, is 40 or 45, 40 minutes. There you go. So basically, this is setting up to be like a live event experience, and something that I know a lot of people are missing, and I'm certainly missing. I haven't played any live poker since the PSPC. It's been like a year and a half since I've literally played a hand of live poker. So I love having that feeling when you're playing a tournament, right? You sit down at the table, you've got the pressure, the excitement, and like that's what you're doing for the day, right? I'm going to play this tournament today. And we don't get that in online poker. We don't get that prestige and that feeling of like, I have an event that I'm doing today. And I think this does a great job of creating that. So anyways, the first week of the WPT, I mean, it follows a similar structure, really. It's 3 events a week, right? But they're must plays, like they're very large, well-structured, exciting events. So the first event on July 18th is Pot Limit Omaha High-Low. I'll get into my schedule in a second here. The second event on July 25th is where we go to Pot Limit Omaha. And again, it's a $3,200, $320, and a $33 buy-in. So that's it for event number 2. And it's the same thing. It's 3 days, day 1A, day 1B, day 2, and the final table on Tuesday, day 2 on Monday. Then we get into the No Limit Hold'em, and that's August 1st is the first No Limit Hold'em event for all of you Hold'em players. And it is an 8-max event. It's a $3 million guarantee on the high tier, 3,200, and of course the 320 and the 33. It's the same structure, day 2 and a final table. So we have a high-low, a PLO, and a No Limit 8-max for the first 3 events, the first 3 weeks of the series. Event number 4 is a knockout now. I'm very excited about this one. I'll talk about that in a second. But a 3200, 320, and 33. Day 1B, day 2, final table. I think this is going to be really, really fun. I love playing big knockouts, especially in like a 3200 buy-in, where a lot of the field I'm going to play against, I think, are going to be better than me, to be frank. So like knockouts, I feel like give me a bit more of a chance to where I might be able to earn some money, you know, or get it all in against a short stack. And I don't know, it's just fun. So I'm looking forward to that. And next up on August 11th, no, there we go, August 15th is the 6max version now. So 3200, 320, 33, day 1A, day 1B, day 2, and the final table right here for all three of them. And so, as you can tell, we've got a high-low, a P-low high, 8max, a knockout, and a 6max. It's like staples of what poker is, and definitely what online poker is with the knockouts. So like really great special events, right? But now we get to the mini world championship. And this is like a mini main event, right? 1,000 buy-in with a 5 million guarantee. So an absolutely massive tournament there. And a 109 buy-in as well for the micro version. The actual main event is coming up later in the series. So for this one, day 1A, day 1B, day 2, day 3, and then a final table for the 4th day. So this is a really slow structure. I remember looking at this. We'll take a look at the 1K version, right? 25-minute levels here for the first day. And you start with 300,000 chips, and so 200 blinds. But then just the ante goes up. So you're still 200 blinds at level 2. And then the next level is not like it's a progressive slow structure. It's very paced out. Day 2, let's just take a look here. 30-minute levels, right? Blinds will be 24K, 48K. So if you made it through the day with starting stack, you'd have about 7 blinds on day 2. It's pretty slow structure. Day 3 here, 40-minute levels. And then the final table of the 1K version is 50-minute levels. So it's a proper event. There's going to be a lot of hands played. Next up is the World Championship main event. Now, this is a 10 million guarantee, $10,000 buy-in. It's going to be very similar structure to what we just looked at. There's a day 1A, day 1B, day 2, and day 3. Where is the final table? There it is. And there's the final table right there for the 4th day. And 300,000 chips, 25-minute levels. So I'm just guessing that this is the same structure. I don't have to go through the whole thing again. 60-minute levels actually for the final table there. So that's an absolutely massive tournament. I'll talk about my plans for that in a second. We do have a few more events after that as well. We have a heads up, 3,200, 320, and 33. I'm really looking forward to that. Heads up shootouts are so fun. And now we have a high roller, and there's a couple high rollers coming up. $25,000 buy-in high roller takes place on Saturday, the 5th of September. Event number 10. And where is 11? Right here. Super high roller. This is a crazy one. I'm looking forward to watching this one on Twitch. I'm not going to try and satellite in. It's just too big. $102,000 buy-in. Super high roller. Day 1, 5 million guarantee. That'll be a fun one to sweat for me. It's not on my wish list. But it's going to be pretty exciting to watch anyways. We've got a Mix Max here as well, and I missed the start of the Mix Max, which is event number 9. Mix Max works. It's a really interesting format, actually, because you start 8-handed, and then after a certain amount of time, you go to 6-handed. So it's really cool because deeper in the tournament, it reduces the full table and allows you to get involved in pots. So it's really fun. Next up, event number 12 after the high roller of 102,000 is a turbo. 3,200, 320, and 33. And then that is a wrap on the series. I mean, we finish at the final tables, and that's it. So when you think through all those events, and there is 12 events there, like it really covers every format. It's got high-low, it's got PLO high, 8 max, knockout, 6 max, mix max, heads up, mini main event, high roller, super high roller. It's like, it's a proper schedule, right? It's got everything you would expect, but it's not something we've seen over the last 5 or 6 months where it's just like, well, let's just shove a gazillion tournaments in there, call it a series, and then people will show up and play, right? It's very limited. There's really about 3 events a week. So I'm so excited about this because it brings a little bit of prestige that I feel like I've been missing in my online poker grind. You know, a little bit of a purpose, and I want to be that WPT champion, you know? So that's what I'm going to try and do. Let's go to the satellite options here, though. Now, I don't know how many are in the lobby right now, but I did ask Party Poker, like, what's the plan with satellites? And they gave me some information. So there's a few main satellites into the mini main, the 1K and the 109. And there's two main approaches to get in, okay? So there's the daily buy-in satellites into the 1K. It's $109 into a $1,000 buy-in. These we see run quite frequently in the lobby for various tournaments, so you're going to be familiar with those. 109 to 1K, 1 in 10 gets a seat, right? 5 of those are going to run per day, 8 p.m. UK start, or 5 seats per day with an 8 p.m. UK start. So that's going to be an awesome satellite into that 1K. But then there's also a phase event, right? There's going to be 55 seats a week into the mini main through satellites. The phase satellites, you play a $22 phase, right? And then if you survive, you take your stack through to the Monday final, okay? Now, you're not actually able to buy into the Monday final. So you know in the satellite, you're playing against $22 players trying to get that 1K ticket. So it's like a small investment for a big reward, and I think a good opportunity to get into that tournament. So 20 seats a week in that one, in the phase event. 20 seats a week, actually, and then 55 seats total into this mini main. So that's pretty cool. There's also going to be paths for the actual main event, the 10,000 buy-in of $11 up to 109 to 1K to 10K. So you'll be able to go through those steps to try and get into the 10K main event. And then, of course, there's the tournament dollar satellites too. So that's pretty cool. Party Poker actually sent me like their full plan for satellites. I don't know if I'm allowed to like release all of this, but I see here, you know, like for example, the first event of PLO 8, right? Pot limit Omaha 8 or better. There's like $3 satellites into the 33. There's $33 satellites into the 320, and then into the 3200. There's 33 to 320 to 3200. So there's going to be those 10x buy-in satellite options. Even for $3, you'll be able to get into a lot of these tournaments. And I can see, hopefully I'm not spoiling anything for this PLO 8, that they're going to give away 52 seats to all 3 tiers in satellites. So they're going to guarantee 52 seats for this event. So there's lots of options, basically. There's lots of options to get in. Hopefully I did a good sort of overview of what this WPT World Online Championship is and what it's going to be like, and hopefully it's interesting to you. I'd love to have some of you out there on the felt this summer. You know, there's so many options in online poker nowadays, but I'm really proud of what Party Poker and the WPT is doing here. I think it's a great series. You know, it's just quality poker, right? It's just like quality tournaments, deep structure, no flips, like we're battling it out, and may the best player win with a bit of variance, perhaps. So I'm really excited about the summer. Thank you all so much for checking it out. I'd love to hear any feedback you think as well about the series.